this week's Movie Math, giving you an in-depth analysis of the box office for the weekend of June 22nd, where Pixar once again demonstrated the strength of their brand. After 17 years of filmmaking, Pixar has now had 13 #1 debuts and has only produced 13 movies. Even more so, Brave is towards the front of the pack, in line with the debuts of The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Up, and unbelievably Cars 2. Yeah, they just opened Cars Land in Disney's California Adventure for a reason. Question is, though, how much longer can Pixar keep this up, especially with audiences disappointed by Cars 2 and now Brave? See, while Brave did get an A on CinemaScore, viewers on BTT weren't impressed, nor were critics. The film only has a 74% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I myself didn't like the movie as I felt it was overly simplistic and Merida was too selfish and downright cruel to her mother. We'll have to see how Brave fares in the weeks ahead, yet this strong debut along with Tangled's robust box office performance proves that audiences are hungry for CGI fairy tales. And Disney will supply another one for the holidays in 2013 with Frozen, aka the Snow Queen. Family movies are doing well in general though, with Madagascar 3 falling just one slot down to #2. The circus flick fell another 40% and looks to be performing right on par with the first two Madagascar films. Then in third place, Fox most likely saw the error in their ways of making Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter an R-rated pick rather than PG-13. The horror history movie opened with just $16.5 million, while Fox had hoped for closer to 20. And while studios usually get half of a movie's box office overall take, here Fox has to also hand over a double-digit percentage to Tim Burton and Timur Bekmambetov, who came to them with a package deal, one where the two auteurs had purchased the rights to Seth Grahame-Smith's book themselves. Well, that's what happens when you gamble, and who can blame Fox for rolling the dice with those two men attached? However, don't expect Pride and Prejudice and zombies anytime soon, and with this and Dark Shadows, look for Seth Grahame-Smith's star to dim quite a bit around Tinseltown. Hey Tim, how many times are you going to let this guy sink you? Get someone else for Beetlejuice 2. Speaking of controversial screenwriters, Damon Lindelof has taken a lot of flack for his Prometheus script, which seems to be taking its toll on the film. It fell 60% in its second weekend, and this weekend fell another 50%. Worldwide, the total stands at $260 million, which means the studio has just now broken even, but not including the costs for advertising and distribution. Will Fox greenlight Prometheus 2? It's still up in the air, as the film is still about $100 million behind the similarly revived franchise pick X-Men First Class. Secondly, with so many questions from audiences regarding the first pick, a sequel would have to tie up a lot of loose ends instead of just being able to hit the ground running. And of course, would Ridley Scott be willing to return again? Some have said they'd love to see James Cameron take on sequel duty again, yet these days Cameron doesn't like or need to play with someone else's toys. But still, there is definite audience interest, which is why a sequel is still a possibility. As for the rest of the box office, there were no real big surprises as the current crop of movies continue to perform as expected, which included a pretty impressive hold for The Avengers. It might be down at #8, yet still fell just another 20%. Worldwide, the superhero epic has reached $1.4 billion. Then way down at the bottom, you'll find the debut of Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. That's not just a career low for Steve Carell, but rock bottom. While on the other hand, it's just another day at the box office for Keira Knightley. The Jacket and Domino opened similarly, yet it's shocking that Carell couldn't offer more of a boost. Is it the subject matter, or was leaving the office a really bad idea? As for this coming weekend, 4 new movies hit theaters. 2 naked guys, one a stripper and one a teddy bear, are expected to vie for first place, while Madea's Witness Protection is set to open on the low side for a Madea movie. Meanwhile, People Like Us is set to perform like your typical Elizabeth Banks movie. Hey Steve Carell and Chris Pine, it looks like the woman standing next to you does matter. How much longer is Hollywood going to give actresses a free pass? And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.